Hi, I'm Abby Buchmiller.
My name is Amanda Roseburg.
I am CEO and co-founder,
President and CFO
here at Empire Solar Group. I think the best advice I would give to women in a very male-dominated industry is that a lot of my experience has shown that the more life you give the difference, the more that it can feel polarized.
So I feel like I have gotten to where I am today by having a goal in mind and a lot of hard work. No matter what comes up, being able to think outside the box, being able to pivot, and if this won't work, fine, we'll do it this way, and figuring out a way to keep going no matter what happens and keep working until someday we get to where we want to be.
Oh gosh. I would definitely say my dad was my biggest influence. Man, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody work quite that hard. You know, really my dad and both of my parents. You know, there was really no barrier they had. It wasn't, I'm going to work hard, you know, except for these moments of time. It was challenge after challenge. They just proved to me, you know, the ability to continue to rise and challenge yourself and stretch yourself. Learned from them really that if you are committed to working your hardest, everything really sort of falls in place outside of that.
I think the most difficult aspects of owning a company would be probably the responsibility, the overall responsibility of making sure that people are okay. It's not just me and my family, there's a lot of people whose livelihoods are riding on the decisions that I make every day. And so there is a weight that goes along with that. And I think out of all of the good and rewarding and exciting things that go along with being an owner, that is probably the one thing that does keep me up at night.
You know, I think this is an interesting one. Because my personal experience has been a lot of me feeling comfortable, you know, with the guys, or me being really more comfortable in that scenario than having to figure out how to mesh in that scenario. So I think that when I realized, or what I've really been trying to put a focused effort to recently, is listening to stories from my mom and my aunts and my mother-in-law and learning what their experience was in the workplace. I know that I personally hadn't really grasped how far we've come in such a little time. And so listening to their stories really helped me recognize that it is a huge deal that I am where I'm at, and I don't take it for granted. And I'm just so grateful for the efforts that they put in, and also the pain that they went through that I don't have to feel personally in every single respect, but I would say it's definitely more recent.
The biggest support that I feel like I can be is mainly being aware of different women we have in our company and positions there, and providing an open door to them so that they know I'm here to support them in whatever advice they might need. And then also allowing an open discussion of their goals and where they would like to be, and providing whatever support I can to help them to succeed.
The solar industry is amazing. It's driven by people who want to change the world for better. So I don't know any other better place where you can put your efforts in and also get back, you know, personal reward that's unmatched.
I think the main bias that I have worked on, I think I've done very well, and it's taken me a minute, but I come from the accounting side. I like paper. Everything has to be written down, everything. And so it took me a minute when everything had to go into the computer, everything digitally filed, everything, especially over the last few years, I have given in. I've done digital files. I've given up. Okay, for a while I digital filed and then I still had my paper files just to make sure that the cloud was a real thing. But I did give up my bias towards going digital, and I've gotten rid of almost all paper, and I feel like I've caught up with the times.
I think that the key, the easy answer that everyone strives to is to just be present in wherever moment that you are. If you're with your children, be very present in their world. If you're with a partner, be very present in their challenges. If you're working with a colleague or someone that's directly reporting to you, be present and try to take the focus off of yourself or what you're dealing with in that moment, and really try to learn from what their experience is and figure out how you can bring a value. I think that's what I really try to anchor myself to. As someone with a ton of attention, being pulled in different directions, I'd love to say I kill it at that. But I'm certainly trying to be better every single day. Outside of that, I think creating relationships with your family or relationships with people outside of the business that are so firm and so strong that you're being very vocal about what your intentions are, even if you're not able to meet the daily needs. It's my intention to make sure you always feel these things, say them, don't waste a moment when you're at home, and make the most of every moment in life.
Not in a specific way. I kind of put my focus on what people are good at and what their talents are, and by letting that be the focus, so really on focusing on what their talents are instead of on what checks they have on the board.
Yes, I think a family-owned business really encourages alignment at the core. How you look at family, your values, how you're built, how you perceive yourself in this space. I think there's so much alignment there. I think just as in any partnership, it's important to make sure that you're recalibrating and that you're still driving towards the same goals. We've been in business together over 15 years, and so over that span of time, each individual member or contributor's perspective on things just adapts and changes. And so certainly, as in with any relationship, partnership, you got to keep connected, and there's some challenges to overcome. But I think that running a family business definitely has that edge in that you know what each other's made of, you know what lies at the core, and you can really work around it, and you can work together and use it, use each other's strengths to win.
So what I am personally trying to do here at Empire to ensure upward mobility for women is that I'm trying to be very aware of people in specific positions, trying to keep my ear out for who is doing well, that I'm watching from the sidelines, and that as positions become available, that we are making sure, keeping them in mind for consideration in these new positions.
Definitely immediately think of my mom. Hands down the most giving, loving human being on the planet. Doesn't matter what anyone's ever maybe done to her or how they come to her. She's got open arms, and she's just ready to make everyone feel welcomed and comfortable. And I think that that's just a level of strength that I have always idolized, and I've always just put a great value on. It's a different kind of internal strength that I think is just amazing. Also, in the comic book world, would say Wonder Woman. Are you kidding me? I love that, in the Wonder Woman story, she was born just, with immense strength, and she had to, she knew that she wanted to, exhibit this strength and exert the strength and challenge herself. It was never anything else outside of, I can save people, I can save the world. Why in the world would I do anything else, and why would I focus on anything else? And I feel like I can relate to that in the sense that I don't question why I'm at or where I'm at. I just focus every day on how can I make today great? How can I impact someone's life for the better? How can I feel really good at the end of the day that I did something amazing, or that I made someone feel loved, or that I kicked ass at work? I just cussed and probably shouldn't have.